10 hut. At ease. You know, when we were kids, we used to often think of leaders as that sort of hard-driving taskmaster. We did what we had to do because we were kind of afraid of the consequences if we didn't. What we know today about leadership is that style of leadership only works in very particular circumstances. The key to leadership success today, well, that's adaptability. Knowing what style to apply depending on the circumstances and depending on the people involved. In this video, we're going to explore 6 leadership styles and when to use them. So in this video, we're going to explore the 6 different leadership styles developed by Daniel Goleman, Richard Boyatzis, and Annie McKee in their book, Primal Leadership. If you think back to the beginning of the video, that's what we call the commanding style. That's a style where it's effectively ruled by fear of the consequence of non-compliance. It's the old style of leadership, as I said at the beginning of this video. What we know is it's only useful in limited circumstances. For example, in an emergency, if safety is an issue, or where urgent action is required. For the most part, that style can have a demotivating effect, so we have to use it very carefully and very judiciously. The next style is the visionary style. And as the name implies, this is all about putting forward a big picture vision and inspiring people to get behind it and why it's important to do so. This is obviously particularly useful in times of change or change in strategy when you really want to get buy-in from your team behind the new way of doing things. The next is the pace-setting style. This is the do as I do approach, where you establish yourself as the role model for your team. Like the commanding style, this has very limited use. And times when you may use it is when you're leading a team in a professional services organization. The other time you might use it is if there are time constraints, urgency is required, and it really does need you to pitch in to make sure the job gets done. Then, of course, there's what we call the participative or the democratic style. This is where you empower your team to make the decisions as a group. So it can be a really inspiring style for your team because it transfers ownership of the decision-making process to them, and in so doing, it ensures greater buy-in. Then there's the affiliative style. The affiliative style is all about building one-on-one relationships with each of your team members, to be able to gain a greater understanding of each person in your team and to work out with each of those individuals how to get the best out of each other. And finally, there's the coaching style. And this is all about unlocking the potential of each of your team members through coaching, mentoring, and providing that level of guidance. So let's bring these 6 styles together by using a single phrase to define each of them. When it comes to the commanding style, it's do as I say. With the visionary style, I have a dream. The pace-setting style, do as I do. The participative or democratic style, together we have the answers. The affiliative style, people come first. The coaching style, let me guide you. What we know today is that it's a combination of the visionary style, the democratic style, the affiliative style, and the coaching style, which is likely to lead to the best results and more likely to lead to high-performing environments. Yes, there are limited circumstances where you might use the commanding style or the pace-setting style, but as we've already described in this video, those are very limited. Ultimately, I think this is best summed up in a Chinese proverb. The wise adapt themselves to circumstances as water molds itself to the pitcher. If you apply that principle, then you are far more likely to be an effective leader and to create a work environment where everyone is motivated to perform at their best.